All right, to keep this going, I would love to introduce a great friend of Greenwood County, the chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party, the one and only Mr. Trav Robertson. Let's give it up for him.
Woo! Leader, good to see you. Take this off. Good? Can you hear me? Good afternoon! So you know, today marks a significant milestone in the history of America. 20 years ago, on this day, we were attacked. And I just want to say this. I started off my morning at the Clyburn Fellows talking about politics and what we do. And here we are today, out here together, socially distanced, having some fish, honoring Floyd Nicholson, but most importantly, we are out here participating in democracy. That means that we won. That means that 20 years ago today, it didn't necessarily affect our democracy. It made us stronger.
Yeah.
And that's something that we can be proud of as we gather here, participating in the freedom of making sure that our democracy survives, Senator.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell a lot about an elected official or someone who has served, not necessarily by what they say, but by their family and their actions. And the story that this man tells about his son, who became a dentist and was working in the private dentist industry, but he felt called to do something else. And that was to go work in the prison system, taking care of the teeth of those people who've been incarcerated. And you tell that story with such pride that you know the heart of this man, and you know the love that he has for his family, and that is the sign of a good leader, ladies and gentlemen. It has not been the same without Floyd Nicholson in the South Carolina State Senate. And everybody here needs to remind the people of this county every single day. You've elected the senator from McCormick, not somebody from Greenwood, South Carolina. You have elected somebody that doesn't recognize the purpose of a boys and girls home. That doesn't recognize the need for Head Start. Who doesn't believe that every single person has a right to health care and a good education. But that's the legacy that this mayor, this senator, and this coach has given all of us, not only in this town, not only in this county, but across the state, and we miss you dearly. You may not miss us, but we miss you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the work that you're doing and your officers. We appreciate you so greatly, and it is good to be here. I apologize for being a little late, but Jalen sends me a text and says, you're late. I came through 96. I like to come up the back roads. I couldn't get around that Jeep. It was driving me insane. I could not get around it. But on behalf of the South Carolina Democratic Party, Mr. Chairman, we appreciate the work you're doing. We appreciate all of you being here. We are continuing the fight. We're trying to register voters. We're trying to advance our cause and our messages well before we get into filing. I think you're going to hear from a gubernatorial candidate who is on their way here. You've heard from some candidates for the U.S. Senate. We're going to have an exciting election year. We're in the middle, let me rephrase that. They're in the starting process of redrawing the lines. I think that you will see Greenwood will be impacted by that as they try to tighten their grip on the state Senate. But we're not going to give up. We wake up every day taking the fight and fighting for the values that bring us together, not for the causes that divide us as a people, and not as those causes that divide us as a community. So with that, Mr. Chairman, thank you for having us today. We appreciate you, and I'm going to feed myself. You don't get this body by not eating. Thank you.